Frank has so generously offered through the minutes. Shit. Oh, right.
Hey, language.
I know.
Exactly.
Ellen, this is being recorded, damn it. Okay.
Hi, Frank. Hi, Ellen.
Sorry,
Hi, Donna.
Hello.
Hi, John.
All right. Yes, we stand corrected on this one. So let's bring the meeting together. It is 5:33. And we are just Frank, Derek, and myself are here with Donna, but we have a quorum, so we're able to continue with this. I am on a 10-second delay, so I'll try to pace myself carefully, so, you know.
My
No
brain's on a
appointees are
10-second
necessary.
delay, so you're fine.
Minutes, the minutes for our last meeting, the site walk and the meeting, which was on May 12th, is review. Let's just approve them. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Sure.
Motion.
Yeah. What do you call it? Yeah, second that.
Okay, I'll make the motion. Frank
Yeah, you
seconds
do it.
to accept
Okay,
the
there we
minutes
go,
of our
done.
previous meeting. John is there, but not there. Should we have to knock on his door?
No, he's there. He just doesn't have his video on.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Hey,
I do.
John.
Hi.
We
Well,
can't
I
see
don't,
you,
huh?
No.
No, neither
all
does
right.
Billy.
We can hear you.
Start
So,
video. If I do start video, do we
Yeah,
like
try
that?
that. That's your,
Oh,
there you
yeah.
are.
Okay, great.
Our
Sounds good.
first application is 0221 John Casey for the Kent Green, map 19, block 42, lot 43, the installation of a small bluestone patio and rock wall and landscaping for Sophie's, I believe.
Right, correct.
So you got it, John.
Okay, I submitted a drawing a few weeks ago with not a lot of detail, but a planting plan and two sections of stone wall. One is about 9 feet long and the other is about 7 feet long. And that would go around where the Sophie's sign is. It would be just, Sophie's sign would be just behind the wall. And this would front, of course, on Route 7 and the existing sidewalk. And then also, as you mentioned, a parabolic shaped, about 350 to 400 square foot patio, which would go, I don't know how familiar you are with the exterior of the building that on the western elevation, but there's 4 or 5 mature, not rhododendron, hydrangeas. And so they would wrap around and define the eastern boundary of the parabolic bluestone patio. When I say parabolic, I don't know how else to describe it, except to say that it's shaped like one of those goldfish, you know, those orange goldfish. It's kind of shaped like that. I don't know. You might even have a drawing there. I don't know.
We do. Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna
We
get
have the drawing.
I don't know. Well, it's kind of a Rorschach test then, and see if you
Mhm.
sync up with me on that.
You know, John,
then-
these meetings are recorded for life eternity, so be careful what you say. People now can go back and see this. I learned the hard way.
Well, I live on the edge.
Yeah,
John,
really.
is there a door from the building? Are you adding a door?
There used to be a door, and we're restoring the door.
Oh, perfect.
And I checked with building department and Stan, and they both said yes, it's okay.
Great. Great.
It's so perfect because it just looks like a door belongs there forever. So it's lovely that that door is going back.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to say, I've always wondered why there wasn't a patio there, so I'm thrilled to see this, and I think it looks great.
Thank
I
you.
agree. I love the stone wall too, out by the sidewalk and the road.
Yeah,
Is that just to define the space a little more? Because it's not very tall, right? It's only,
no, I think it's about 2.5 feet.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
yeah.
Actually, in connection with my work on the streetscape committee, the first one, the one that got dissolved, I took a trip around Southern Connecticut. I saw a stone wall configuration like the one I'm planning here in Wilton. And I should have sent it over to you. I have it on my desktop. But I just thought it was really lovely from the first time I saw it in 2011. I keep coming back to that. And I just thought I'd build a version of that and add the same type of vegetation too.
How does it differ
Lovely.
from other stone walls around here?
Well, I don't intend it to be any different than, the standard stone wall vernacular that we're used to seeing. I'm trying to look backwards more than create a unique and novel design.
It looks beautiful and it's
Yeah.
great. Really
I think
great.
it will be nice. Yeah, Andy Durbridge was the landscape designer that I've been working with, and he's very good. He's done a lot for us, and this is one of his ideas.
It looks lovely.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I hope to build it soon. I hope to build it whether or not we get the loan to do the repaving project here on the green. That's where all my psychic energy is going right now, is to get that loan for the paving.
So, I mean, how long would it take to build, do you think?
Well, I don't think it would take a long time to build because we're talking about less than 20 linear feet.
Yeah.
The hard part about building stone walls is getting a commitment from someone to build it, because there aren't that many people who are doing it and they're booked well in advance. There are a lot of people around Treasure Hill who are consuming stone wall builders services at an inordinate rate. So I don't know exactly how long it will take. I mean, maybe 90 days the most to do from the time that I get.
I've also heard that bluestone is really hard to come by right now. So I don't know if you tried to procure it.
Well, actually I bought some about 3 months ago and did some layouts here in some of the walking paths. We had no trouble, but I don't know. I mean, this is a sort of a chimera, it's really hard to chase down. I tried to get some hardwood flooring, and I was told by my flooring guy that there's none to be found.
Mm-hmm.
I found some, but I had to jump through a lot of hoops to get it.
Yeah, yeah. I saw just a little bit of bluestone. There's that rock place in Amenia, and they had on 343, I guess it is, but that place had stone.
I know
That's
where
the
you
only
mean.
place I found.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you run out.
Thank
This
you.
looks good. Are there any other questions?
No,
Not for
I
me.
mean,
Good to go?
Yeah.
Derek, would you like to make a motion?
I'd say vote yes. Approve it.
Okay. I'll second.
that. All right, unanimous.
We're good to go. Thank you,
Thank-
John. It's
thank you very
beautiful.
much.
And
Thank you.
thanks for Sophie's too.
Well, I hope that works out. She has a little bit to learn, but she has a great heart and she's really a hard worker. She's having difficulty finding labor.
Oh, gee, no one ever has that problem.
So she can open a few more hours, which I think she needs to do.
Yeah, really.
And so does she.
I heard Kingsley's just closed on Sundays because they just
Yeah,
can't
I
staff.
heard that. I heard that. I can't believe my ears when I hear that.
I can't
Yeah,
believe people
yeah.
can't get hardwood.
Yeah, I know.
If only people were building with gypsy moths and caterpillars, I could help them out
Don't even
tremendously.
get me started. Our trees are being sprayed as we speak, which is so sad.
It's horrible.
Ours are
Horrible.
bare.
So,
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Awful, awful.
Okay,
All right, thanks, everybody. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thanks, John.
thank
Uh-huh.
you, John.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for filling out your application. Bye.
All right, thanks. Bye now.
Okay, Billy.
What's going on?
So our second application officially is 005-16. A modification to change out the north-facing bump out on the new art gallery and changes to the metal entrance trim. Billy, did you bring in any drawings, or I wasn't able to pull them off on my computer, so I didn't know if I failed or they aren't there.
No, I don't have anything right now, but they put a coat on the bump out so I could kind of get a feel
Yeah.
for what it would look like. So if you look at that right now, it's a base coat, and it could be lighter, it could be any color still. It's just a base coat, and the base coat actually looks pretty cool. So it's just been really difficult, like just with, getting the people, like you guys are just talking about, finding people with hardwood and all this other stuff. It's getting the people to do the work is like this time frame of like, you got to do it next week, or otherwise you got to wait 2 months or 3 months or till the fall. So I gave them the go to do the base coat so we could get a feel for it, and then also look at the metal entrance and see how that's going to work together, and if it looks good, or if the entrance should match that. I'm not crazy about the metal entrance after all that time of, my architect telling me this, that, Tim showing me a sample, and then it goes up and you're like, it's just so cheesy looking when you're maybe not from the road, but when you're up against it, if you knock on it, it's just like that roofing material. And like, that's the entrance, so
Right.
I don't know. But also the hemlock is going to be that stained kind of gray silver. So everyone's telling me, the architect and everyone's saying, why don't we, and Tim, the builder, and just all the workers are like, before you take that metal down, why don't we stain it and get what you want for the bump out and what the architectural review board would approve, and then take it and then go through it, remove the metal later after the staining, the eco stain goes on. Because a lot of people say maybe you'll like it better than if you rip it down and waste that $8,000 and throw it away. But I look at it and go, those two things should match, that bump out and the entrance. That's how I, from just a design looking at it, I think they should match. But maybe everybody else is right. Maybe I should wait, since it's already up, stain it, get a feel for it, and have that bump out be like a concrete look, and see how it looks. And if it looks really bad, come back to you guys and say, I want to match it to the bump out. And then you can have a good feel, because you'll see it too. So you'll all be able to go, you know what, I totally agree with you. Or I'll just say, you know what, guys, I think it looks great. It matched perfect. And you could all say, yeah, you're right too. Or you might say, I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough call to see it.
And there are no
before it's
pictures?
stained. Yeah.
There are no pictures of the bump out or the metal to compare, to look at?
It's only, I took some pictures today, but there's no renderings. That I have, but you can look at the building and actually see it. The metal's up and the base coat is on the bump out. So you could get a really good feel for how it's going to look, but you're not going to have the full effect, because the wood, all the hemlock still needs to be stained that silvery gray color. So
When do you think they might do
You
some
mean
staining?
the horizontal
boards.
boards are not the color that they're gonna be?
No, they get stained. There was a sample of it on the
They get
corner.
stained, not,
Yeah. They get
Right,
stained,
right.
it's eco stain, where it's like a silvery gray. It starts off brown, like for one day. So everyone's gonna think it's brown, but it's just like one day of it. And then it just turns out of nowhere to that silver gray. And then it just ages more silvery. But it stays that for pretty long time, that as it looks,
Okay.
as that sample look. But anyway, it's just, I mean, I don't have any images. I have pictures that I just took today of the bump out, but I can't really show them to you on my phone. I guess I could, you know what? Maybe I could print one out.
Yeah, hold them up.
Let
Hold
me,
them up,
hang
because
on.
there is no, I mean, with this application, there were no pictures or anything for us to really go by.
Right. I just don't know if I can print these out while I'm on with you guys. Can I do that? Like
Can
use
you
my
hold your
phone?
phone up? Is that,
Well, they're on my phone and I'm on my phone.
Oh,
oh, yeah,
So if I
There is
swipe
some-
you guys.
there is
if I-
some technological way to do this, but you have to be under 30 to know how to do it.
Yeah,
I think it
right.
has something to do with screen sharing or something.
No,
Really?
Derek.
No?
That's no,
I-
Derek.
I could try to do it and print them out. And if
Oh,
I-
well.
If I lose you guys, I could just sign right back in on the email, right? You want me to try
Why
to
don't
do
you-
that?
What, when, if you go away, your screen should get paused. Don't leave the meeting, but just do, are you using an iPhone?
Yeah,
Okay, so just leave this app, go to your pictures,
yeah,
right? You can
Yep.
either email them, and I'm on my computer, so I could probably share them.
okay,
Want to do that?
yeah,
Okay.
I'll do that.
Are you under 30?
What? Under 30, yeah, Frank's under 30.
Yeah, for
Under
sure.
30?
It's premature gray, Frank.
That's right, Derek.
So if I lose, so how do I get back into the app, Frank?
Well, if you, which version of the iPhone are you using, sir?
I don't even know, 10? I don't know what it is though.
If you swipe from the bottom of your screen, you'll
Yep.
see all the different apps that are open,
Oh yeah, I got you.
and you can
Okay.
scroll through, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna do that right now.
Okay.
In the meanwhile,
In the meantime,
How do you know this stuff?
I have an iPhone, what?
Well, so do I, but I don't know anything about it. It's way too advanced for me.
I have a lot of 17-year-old friends.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that explains everything.
Frank, this meeting is forever on video. Be careful what you say.
Ellen, you clearly are very cautious now.
At least they should be 18 and a half.
Well, they're my daughter, so that's okay. It's legal. Not like a,
Yeah, that would sound really good.
that would be really.
Daughters
really-
and 17, yeah.
Mm,
right.
mhm, yeah,
All right.
Well, it is
that part
Kent.
has
What
to be
happens in
deleted.
Kent stays in Kent.
yeah, right. Let me just see. Here we go. Billy sent the pictures. Now I'm
Dylan, can
going.
you still hear us?
No,
I
he has
can't, I'm trying to get back in there.
to- Okay, so I'm
Or
going.
you can hear us,
to-
right?
Yep,
So I'm gonna share screen.
There. am I back?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay, let's go to desktop. Now this is where I'm getting confused because I'm trying to share my screen. I mean, I may need permission to share. Let's see. Desktop share. Yeah, below.
I'm printing it out right now too, so if I beat you to it, I'll hold it up in front of the screen.
Okay.
But I sent you like 3 pictures.
Yeah, I saw them.
Okay,
Let me just see if I can. Zoom, not my friend.
I don't know if you guys can see that.
You're probably, see, now you just trumped me.
I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't ever use that
Oh,
word.
yeah.
That's a good point. Okay,
So so I don't know if you can really get a feel for it from this picture, but here's the bump out. That's the entrance. This is all gonna be like a grayish, like the sample that we saw. And this looks like a big concrete wall that has a base coat that can be any color right now, but the base coat needed to get done. So that's,
So what is that just in shadow, the side? It looks like there's a black line going. Is that
yeah,
just
that's shadow.
shadow?
where,
Yeah,
in
Yeah.
this,
Yeah, on
That's all
on this side of it.
oh, this right here,
Yeah.
that is gonna be hemlock that continues, but they
Oh,
wanted
but
to
it's
finish
not
this.
now.
Right, it's just black. It's just the tar stuff and so this hemlock will continue going like that. So this will be this color.
But it won't be that color. It's going to be gray.
Right,
It'll be the wood.
yeah,
It'll
until
be
they
the wood.
stain it, right.
yeah, yeah.
But this metal thing, to me, I don't know, it's such a hard decision. It's like facing out, but it's not a big, I guess I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but you see how it's like ribbed up top there? And then
There
it's,
weren't on, yeah. It
It's
looked
kinda
different
like-
in the picture.
yeah, it's not the same. It's just cheesy metal. I was thinking it was gonna be like a nice blackened steel, almost like what this kind of looks like in the picture. And I didn't think it was gonna be that roofing material. So it's kind of like never building before and putting something right out that's facing Route 7 in our town. I mean, that's, I want it to look right. And that's one major reason why I changed the hemlock in the back so it would fit the town better than being metal, because it was metal at one time and it would have been that same metal. And I'm glad I made that call. It would have looked terrible. And I don't know, it's just not built, not having the experience of building and also having my architect kind of disappearing on me a little bit, not getting back to me on certain things, which is kind of, he's meeting me on Wednesday and he's only been to the job right now twice, maybe once since it's went up the gallery and the floor is poured, the siding is almost done, and he's only been there once. And it's just really disconcerting to me, and I'm frustrated. And I sent him a pretty nasty email, so he knows that. But that's kind of beyond my control. And also the building, I'm just trying to make it look the best way. So when you drive down Route 7, it kind of blends and doesn't look odd
Blends?
in our town. Blends like just
You're
kinda,
never gonna blend, Billy.
No.
Billy, let's be
I
honest.
guess
You're
you're right.
never
I
gonna
know,
blend.
but it's
Okay.
true. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Not to
I
drive
do.
by and see like the concrete could be bright yellow and make you go, what? I mean, it's a big building, but you can drive by it with these color tones and kind of, not have to pull your eye and go, what's that big building?
Here's what I think we should do at this point, because
Yeah.
this is all way too hypothetical.
Right.
Right.
I think, you showed us a sample of the stain, the silvery stain. It's kind of grayed out. It looks
Right.
very sort of natural and
Yeah.
fine. And I think we should just go ahead and get the building stained
Stained.
and then make your decision from there. I don't think this is way too hypothetical to make a decision.
I agree. So before ripping down well, what about, so the bump out? I mean, you guys were all in town. You can look at that bump out.
I like it. It's a warm putty.
Yeah, it's
I like the
nice.
color.
It
But I
looks
don't
very
know.
industrial.
I don't
Yeah,
like Joseph Albers. I don't know what that color is going to look like when the wood is grayed.
right.
So we need to sort of see that in order to understand the visual relationship between the hemlock and the stucco.
Okay.
So get your colors there, and then let's go back and look at the entrance.
So we'll
Okay?
get the stucco done in a color like concrete, like that. We'll leave the metal on the front entrance, get the building stained, get the windows in, the doors in, and then we'll have another conversation about changing that metal entrance or not.
I think so. Yeah.
And are you,
All right.
Yeah.
aren't you going to wait to finish the final coats on the bump out on the side until the hemlock is done too? Or What was your plan on that?
I think after seeing this base coat and how it looks almost concrete colored, the base coat has this nice concrete and it kind of matches the foundation. It's hard, it's pretty tough to see, but the foundation
Uh-huh.
color, you know, and they might bring the bump out and go down, but this can, how it matches the foundation color, I think that's the way to go, and just do that and let the staining
Is
is gonna
that-
match that good.
Is
It's
it,
the-
and it's hard to see it with the scaffolding because it
I
looks
know.
very mottled. But it
There-
could
there
just
are-
be drying too.
No, it's pretty dry. I think that the scaffolding's tough to see, and they did some V joints. So the V joints, there's like 9 panels.
Oh,
1,
I
2,
see.
3, 4, 5, 6. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the V grooves kind of almost look like the scaffolding a little bit. So they talked me into that, because if something ever dented right here and it was all one, the patch would look terrible. So now they can redo one square if it ever gets messed up.
Oh,
And it looks cool.
it's
I
a
like
grid
it.
now.
There's 9 of them. Yep. So it almost kind of goes with the scaffolding a little bit. It's kind of tough to see.
Okay.
You can pull in and look at it.
Okay.
Now,
And it looks-
Billy, when you
Yep.
say that you like the fact that it pulls through to the concrete base, when we were all together, you said that that wasn't going to be visible, that was going to be raised,
So-
and it was going to be sort of a flat plane to the road. So what is the plan for landscaping? Let's talk about that just a little bit.
Wait, what did you just
You
say?
were talking about, when we were all together, we did our site visit last
Yep.
month.
Yeah,
We talked about landscaping, and you had mentioned grass, and I said, so you're not going to see the foundation, and you said, no, it's going to be grass right up to the wood edge of the
They're going to
building.
raise the grade level up
I
to
think it's
the
gonna have-
bottom
I
of the wood.
it'll have a couple of inches of it. It won't
Oh,
be
okay.
right to the grass. There'll be a
I
couple,
see.
but there'll probably be something around it anyway, mulch around the whole building anyway. So I guess it's just, there might be a couple little spots where it shows on the back end. I'm not too sure. The grading's supposed to be just totally flat
Uh-huh.
right to the door. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
why,
you're
you know,
right.
where the door,
There's, that's what-
the base of the door is aligned with the base of the hemlock.
that's right, because it's a straight in. It's like
Right.
real stuff straight into the gallery. That's
Right.
right. So the plan for the landscape is just to have a nice path, concrete path that goes all the way out to the street, right to the sidewalk, and then another path that goes in from the parking, and just grass and some nice, plantings out by where John has his on that corner. Maybe John and I were talking about later, maybe doing a stone wall together. That's later though, but right now it's just pretty much grass and some nice, maybe really cool trees, like smaller trees, but nothing major. It's not like a
Okay.
Are
major.
you going to get is there a way you can get a landscaper or someone to do up some sort of a general plan or something?
Yeah, I mean, Richard Rosiello is gonna do all that. So, I mean, it's so hard to get anyone right now. And with this being backed up so much, I can't even get someone here to clean up my yard. So it's like everyone is just can't get anyone to do anything.
Mhm.
I mean, and to go to a whole nother landscape architect firm. I mean, I'll email Richard again and say, hey, the ARB is asking for a landscape design. Can you just come up with something simple so I can show it to him what we're gonna do? I mean, it's really
Yeah,
pretty simple. The landscape design is just gonna be, it's supposed to be sculpture out front and in the back. So it's really just gonna be the parking and grass. And like I said, like, a couple of trees and some little planting somewhere, some easy planting stuff to just look nice, and lights that go out, along the side of the walkway that John Gleason's gonna put in. But I'm not really looking at a major landscape, all, flower beds and all this stuff, but I know like towards the, I guess, towards the, against the gallery, am I gonna come out with some river stones or some mulch and have some boxwoods or some kind of plantings around the building? I don't know. I don't know if the landscape architect would say you don't want to do that. It's gonna, you don't want any plants right next to the building. I mean, I don't know. I have to see what he kind of comes up with without saying, here, give me $100,000 plan. I'm looking at just kind of grass and sculpture. That's what I'm kind of got in
Right,
mind.
right.
And some trees and some planting, so it doesn't just look, bland.
Yeah, I
But-
think one of the things that we
Mhm.
had talked about offline, Billy, and you
Yeah.
know, and this is, I don't mean to make this as
No.
a hard suggestion. This is just an
Yeah.
idea that we had talked about.
Yeah.
What if you were to do something like a river birch, which isn't a huge tree, or an aspen that could soften the harshness of the front of the building because it's very stark in relationship to the rest of town.
Yeah.
And that might help pull that through so that from a planting perspective, at least it's a little bit more integrated with what else is going on, but it still feels modern and fresh.
Yeah.
You know, it's just some ideas because I think my personal concern was that if it's just grass going up to the building,
Yeah.
it's so harsh that it's almost too stark, right? So what can you do to soften it just a little bit? I'm actually really falling in love with the shape of the building and the materials.
Nice.
And you know, I hadn't seen the plans because this all happened before I joined the ARB. So
Yeah.
all of this was a mystery to me. And I think what's happened is really beautiful. And
Thanks.
there's something very cool happening. I would just love to see how to pull it through from the town perspective.
Yeah.
Is
I
your
like
hand
that
raised,
idea.
Derek? Are you raising your hand, Derek, or just lighting yourself more beautifully?
What?
Derek,
What
you look
kind of-
much better. I was like, are you raising your hand or are you just trying to be pretty?
What kind of tree did you say,
He's got
Frank?
evening light on.
We had talked about either river birches or aspens. Aspens are deciduous, so they have a really beautiful bark in the wintertime.
And so
Okay.
do river
Also-
birch.
And they kind of quiver in the fall. They're just gorgeous. And river birch is beautiful as well.
It's
All right,
kind of
I'm gonna-
sculptural.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna look
Yeah,
those up and
yeah.
I'm gonna recommend them to Richard. And I also saw something at the Kent Greenhouse. I don't know if anyone's been there lately, but if you,
Only every
Yeah.
weekend, but go ahead.
you know the where the cash register is, if you go out that back door, there are these really cool, almost like evergreen, they're like patties. Did you see those?
Oh, yeah. They're very susical, aren't they?
Those are awesome. I was
Yeah.
thinking like 2 or 3 of those would be
I thought you
so
said you didn't have
cool.
a lot of money, Billy.
Yeah,
Right, they're like $700. I don't have a lot of money. They're not
You-
that bad.
you know what would
Not
help a
like,
lot? What would help a lot is more visuals. Because we're talking hypothetical and it would be nice to see something concrete. Not literal. I mean, it would be nice to see concrete too, but
Yeah.
I hear you. I know. I understand that. Me too. Believe me, I'm a very visual person. I've been very frustrated with my architect and with everybody that hasn't been. I mean, Tim Sneller has been great. Without Tim, I don't think we'd be this far along. And I don't want to bash my architect, but the renderings that he did, the renderings that he gave me, he just made everything look too, what's the word? Just too, like, not real. Like there's not like I don't even know how to explain it. It's almost like a cartoon where you look at it and go, wow, that looks awesome. But you know what? The driveway isn't going to look anything like that. The driveway's like white rock with some dirt. It's not this beautiful, smooth glacier of, whatever it looks like. And then the building, the colors are all off. I mean, we have the color of the warehouse. It's brownish, and he made, in the renderings, when I see him, they even changed that. So it just looks so pleasing. So you want to go, wow, yeah.
But-
Why are you doing that to me? Why am I looking at these?
but that makes
Is that
it hard for
architect trick?
us. That makes
I
it
think
hard for us to
me.
help.
I know, it makes it hard for me to, that's why there's been so much you know
Right,
what, this
right.
doesn't look good. Like Tim's like, Billy, here's the metal we're gonna use. The guys are coming tomorrow. This is what we got in the plan. They're coming tomorrow to do it, and they can't come back for another 3 months because they're booked. And I'm like, all right, we'll just do it. And then it goes up, and I'm like, this is terrible, Tim. It's got to come down. It's got to match the bump out. This is, you know, and it's all because it didn't look like that. Like you just said, it didn't look like that in the rendering. It looked more like a steel. And that's what I was thinking this whole time. And I'm like, then to see it, it's just frustrating. It's
Like a sculptural steel. You mean like a Richard Serra
Yeah,
rather than a used
yeah,
car
like
lot.
just real steel, not a thin little teeny thing that you knock on and it feels like it's gonna fall down. That's what that feels like. It looks okay from
Right.
the road, but when you get up to it and you're walking in that front door and you nod, you touch it, and it's already scratched up from the concrete floor guys. They must have hit it, and it's got a big scratch going across it already. And it's like,
Mhm.
and it, you know, and it's got that oil canning effect that on the front part, on that lip, on the lip that comes out and
Mhm.
faces, it's got that wave where it looks like, you know, someone threw 2 rocks at it in a spot, and that's known to
It
happen
will.
with this stuff.
So it's a very thin material.
They're very thin, and it's called oil canning, and it's, you know, I can't blame the company because that's what it does, but no one told me it was gonna, it just like Ellen just said, like, I thought it was gonna be like a real steel, you know, like a real 1/4 inch thick up against the thing, like massive, like, wow, not a seam roof material. But
Mhm. Mhm.
so anyway,
The word you used, and I get to quote you on this rather than being honest, cheesy. It's a little cheesy.
a little cheesy.
So, but yeah, but I think you're right to set back for a little while and just see how it goes. Because I think like you
Yeah.
said, the rest of the building sort of has this lovely strength about it.
Everybody-
I think everybody
everybody loves
like,
it.
I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it took a while for people to win over, but I think they like it. The
Yeah.
one thing, Billy, the one thing that we have talked about in the past, and the hard part for the ARB is the original design that we had seen and accepted was, if you remember, I mean, it had like the second story, it had these bump outs, and
Yeah.
all of this stuff, and understandably, you needed to remove all that stuff for the, you know, the financial responsibility of what you're doing. So what
Right.
sort of what ended up is that it's sort of a big box, and it is a cool looking box. And I think what Frank was saying is the idea of planting something really tall and vertical in
Yeah.
front of it, like between the door and the window, would just break up that, you know, that
Right.
massive horizontal thing that's going on. And I think that's really important to,
I
you
like
know, as
that.
Frank said, to just integrate that building into the rest of the town. So,
Yeah.
so the landscaping is important. And, you know, we love to put our 2 cents in on that.
I'm all for that. I love that. And I'll pass that on to Richard Rosiello, and I'll email him tonight. And I'll say, can you come up with some
Mhm.
plan using some river birches and some aspen? And, you know, here's what I'll definitely, that's great. I love the
Right.
input.
And
I love
those
it.
trees, Frank, those 2 that you suggested, because they are so, they're sort of so wispy and light
Yeah.
that they would really have such a nice balance between that, because the building's just so massive and solid. You know,
Right.
you know, it's really a lovely idea to have something so delicate in front of that.
Yeah.
And the fact that the aspens are constantly moving, you know, really is a great idea.
Cool. I like that. I'm looking forward to Googling these trees and checking them out because that's great. I love the input. That helps me a lot. Like a real lot.
We love sharing opinions.
Thanks.
Damn
We
it.
have dozens of
Well-
opinions, dozens.
So where do we stand then on this?
So here's what I think, and then you guys can decide how you decide, but I'm thinking we go with the concrete color of the bump out because it looks really good right now. And if you guys want to look at that, I think Wednesday we get color samples that I chose, and the base coat looks better than any of the color samples I chose, because when they first did it, it was white. When they first covered the plywood, it was white and it looked terrible. And then they put this other coat on and it looked like a very light gray. that I probably would have thought I'd like from a swatch, but it was just, I didn't like that either. And they're just doing this in the motion. And now they put this base coat on and it looks really good, dark and concrete like. So if you guys want to look at that,
Mhm.
let me know what you think. I think it should be or that we're getting the other samples and texture on hopefully Wednesday, and John Ali, the architect, is supposed to come down and meet me on Wednesday to look at these samples. I'm going to tell him what I feel, that it should be this color, concrete, and let's just get the rest of the building has to get before we can stain, they got to get the windows in and the doors before they stain, because Tim's got to get the back part to the windows, I guess. Or Tim's on vacation for this week, so nothing's going to get done this week. But I think we just get the rest of the siding up, get it stained to that eco stain, leave the metal on the entrance until that's all stained up, and then take it from there
Right.
and work on the
Okay.
landscape. That's what
Wait, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Here's my thought is that when you, and I'm going to use this sort of a general term, when you gray out the building with your stain, I think
Right.
the thing that you will want to reconsider at that point is the concrete color working? Is the stucco color working? Because right now, the reason the stucco color looks so beautiful is because the wood is so warm and you're
Right.
taking the warmth and neutralizing it. So I don't know if you can adjust the stucco after you have the stain done. I'm just thinking through in my head, like logically, what are the steps?
Well, I guess that's a good call. Maybe we should wait to put any final coat on then and see if the stucco
I
guys can
would.
leave it like that
I would.
until they come back.
Yeah,
It's okay to leave this way in the weather, but I hear what you're saying. But I also took the corner sample and brought it out on my fork truck, and I
Yeah.
brought it back inside, and it looks good. I mean, it's
Good.
hard to tell from the whole
right.
thing.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe you could just stain a certain number of the shorter pieces and then hold them up against the stucco. So what you're looking at is the stucco with more than just a
With
piece
it.
of wood, with
Right.
a section.
Well, that whole corner sample goes on, that whole corner of the thing is like this tall, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Right.
and it wraps around. So if I come out there and put it against this, you really get a good feel. And it looked good because it's not too dark. But that's a question too. I think the eco stain is just one shot. It's, you can't make it lighter or darker. I don't believe. I think it's called an eco stain, and it's just, that's what it is.
Mhm.
You can't make it lighter or darker. But I will ask Hank, let me take that, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna ask Hank, the painter who's doing that, if it can be any lighter or darker. I thought he told me it couldn't, like it was a one-shot eco stain.
Well,
But
then it makes it more important that stain is up before you finalize the
Exactly.
concrete. If that's not flexible, something has to be flexible.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask Hank that too, if there are certain, can we make it lighter or darker? And if he says no, then we'll wait to do that. Obviously. That sounds like a
Sounds
good
like a good
idea.
idea.
Yeah, and I'll ask those stucco guys, hey, how long can this stay like this? And if he says you could leave it like this for months, it doesn't matter. I know they got other jobs too, so they're running around. He might say, I can't get back there until October. Or he might say, yeah, I could come back in a few weeks or after it's all stained. I don't know when that's I got to talk to Tim about, there's all these other little moving parts that got to get done before the staining. So if it takes too long, I don't have the answer for that. Tim would. So I need to ask some people some questions first.
Okay, so I think what
Okay.
we're suggesting is that you finalize the stain.
Yep.
This is what our recommendation.
Yep.
Finalize the stain, then address the color of the stucco.
Right.
And then your final thing will be to look at the entrance metal. But I would do it in that, but I think the board is suggesting that you go in that order.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
And put together the landscaping
Landscape.
concept.
yeah,
Yeah.
and let's get some,
Yeah.
and maybe you can, somebody can put together a
A
very
drawing.
basic
Sure.
drawing for you.
I'll have
Right.
Richard do that. Okay. And I'll email everybody all the answers to this stuff. As soon as I hear it, I'll get
Okay.
them all together
Yeah,
and shoot all you guys an email on the ARB. Okay,
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, thank you.
Oh, it looks great though, Billy. I mean, it's a
Thanks.
big project and I'm sure it's anxiety ridden, but it really looks great.
Thanks. I'm glad, I'm happy to hear everybody say that. They're all like really intrigued what kind of wood it is and how they did the separation, and they're, everyone's pretty interested in it, and they seem to like it. So that's a good thing. They're just happy it's blocking the
And
big
every
round building.
little mouse in town is excited too, because it's like, they know how to get in. So Frank,
Yeah.
can you put what you said into a motion,
Um,
like the order you just suggested,
yeah,
that we accept the proposal? and-
right. So so we are suggesting, the motion is for Billy to finalize the stain, then address the color of the final stucco, and finally look at the entrance metal. And we'd also like to see renderings of the landscaping as that plan pulls together.
just so we see the whole
Sounds good.
picture.
Right, yep, got it,
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
Okay.
it's a very big statement in town. And, the more beautiful it is, it's not nobody's not gonna see it, so it might as
Yeah,
well
right,
just be
right.
the best.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's why I'm ready to rip down this metal to make it look better, but we'll see how it all looks. But yeah, it's like, I'm not just going, hey, I can't afford to do that. I want it to look good for the town just as much as everybody. So,
Yes, it's gotta be
Yeah.
right. For all the time and energy you put into it, it's gotta be right, so-
Yeah.
and it will be. I think it's great.
Cool.
All right,
Thanks.
I'll
right.
second that motion that Frank said.
okay,
okay. Thank you.
All
I'll
right,
talk to you all soon.
Thank you, guys.
thank you, Billy.
Okay.
Thanks, Billy.
Hank.
So, old business, none. Other business,
None.
none. Adjournment? We can,
Yeah,
what, Derek?
I don't know. Are we finished with are we finished with this whole, we're finished with it for now? With
With,
the gallery
um,
thing?
We have made a motion.
as far as
move-
video is concerned, we are.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
All right.
Then I'm done.
I call to adjourn at 6:20.
Okay.
I second it.
There you go. It's unanimous. Meeting
Okay.
adjourned. At
This was
6:20.
professional, Donna.